and One Hub TV. Also across social media platforms, you can follow Channel 7. It is at My Channel 7, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and on YouTube as well. And also on Google Play Store and App Store. Okay, so you have no excuse. Get involved. Get involved. You have no excuse at all. Get involved. To watch some of the best content, African, Afro Caribbean content. All right, tune into My Channel 7. So many ways to watch it. Anyway, I do encourage you to call in as well, in as much as you send in messages. The numbers you need are 0203 or 0203 Alternatively, you can send a text message or call this line as well, 0778 793 9958. Whilst I have you here, Joe, I'm not sure if you heard me yesterday. I was saying that when I came to your book launch over the weekend, it was amazing. It was really, really amazing. The fact that we had the opportunity to speak to people that are doing it big in Ghana and to listen to their stories and ways in which they took their processes, what they faced, the challenges, the pros and cons, and how one needs to equip themselves before finally making that transition to Ghana. So well done, and also on your book, 10 practical ways to relocate back to Ghana. So make sure you check it out, okay? If you're like some of us that have been thinking about this, pondering for so many years, and just procrastinating, putting it on hold, thinking, okay, all right, let me wait, wait a little bit, let me wait a little bit before you realize time has gone. So um, get that book, okay? Get that book. A lot of the people that have already transitioned to Ghana, they were saying that they wish this book had come out maybe 20 years ago. That is really, really fantastic. It hits the nail on its head. And for me, what I like, the book does exactly what it says on the tin. 10 practical ways. It's straight to the point. Gives you few nuggets, um, gives you an insight of what to do and what to expect and how to go about relocating to Ghana. And I think it's not just Ghana. I think it's also applicable to other, neighboring countries. You don't need to be a Ghanaian to read that book. And what's funny or interesting, I should say, Adra, um, is that at the event I met this Nigerian guy who was looking to go back and start a business in the agri sector, right? And I thought he was Ghanaian, but he said to me he's a Nigerian. And then I said to him, "Oh, okay. Are you looking to go back to Ghana? And are you looking to go to Ghana?" And he said, "Yeah." And I said, "Has he been there?" He said, "No." I said, "Have you been to Nigeria before?" He said, "No, he hasn't. He's never been to Nigeria." And then obviously I said, "So okay, what is it about Ghana then? Why Ghana? Because surely if your background is Nigeria, you're tempted to go back there and that's where you start your business." And then he said to me that he's been advised that the big goal is to end up in Nigeria, but he's been advised to start from Ghana to get a taste of what it's like. And then we both started laughing because Nigeria is much more hectic, more, you know, it's fast, isn't it? The pace in Nigeria is really, really fast. It's fast paced country, especially the city, Lagos. And he said, yeah, he's going to go to Ghana. Interesting.
Yeah,
Hello.
yeah. You're all right.
Yes, who am I speaking to, sir?
Huh?
Is this Abu Shaw?
Yeah. It's Abu Shaw. How are you?
Abu Shaw, thank you for calling in. Is it okay, Abu Shaw, if you come on the link? Use the link.
Oh, the link. Okay, okay.
All right, thank you. That's Abu Shaw. Abu Shaw is here. Abu Shaw is an editor and publisher of the organizer.net. Um, and we're going to talk about Sierra Leone. I'm sure you heard a few days last week actually, there were protests across Sierra Leone, and unfortunately there were casualties. The president, of course, came out to blame opposition behind, saying that they're the ones behind the protest. But opposition have also said that they will do their own due diligence and to find out exactly what happened because the protest did turn violent. Um, Now let's speak to Abu Shah because I know that Abu Shah hasn't got that much time. So let's speak to him before we move across to other matters as well. Abu Shah, as always, it's a pleasure to have you here on GN Radio Morning Breakfast Show. What is the situation now? Because from my understanding, the opposition want to look into, want to do their own probing into some of the people that ended up losing their lives at the protest.
Yes. Yeah. Good morning, Jones, and it's always a pleasure, to join.
Likewise.
Yes. What is happening now in Sierra Leone is really very fearful and scary. The the government is doing underground, systematic arrest and detentions and summary executions of so many people, in Freetown and in the north. They have deployed their soldiers and police, going house to house, looking for their so-called terrorists, the protesters. People, so many people have been killed. People who do not have any even access to any protest. So now the opposition, the All People's Congress Party, they have issued a press release saying that they are going to look into all these killings, and they have called on the international community, to make sure they set up an independent investigation. They said they do not trust the government to set up any committee because they have always failed in probing violence. So now the even Amnesty International have come in and they have asked people to submit evidence, photographic evidence, audios, to make sure that they have enough information, and even some other Sierra Leoneans in the diaspora too, are presently collecting evidence against those, especially against the government, because the government, everybody know that it's the government that are doing this, but they are blaming the opposition. And now they're trying to link the protesters to the opposition, and which is not true, because they have the main organizers, the people's power in politics, that's headed by this Adebayo, this person that they call uneducated riffraff, who is in Holland. But this is the guy who people listen to. They listen to his audios every day for the past 7 years. And he has aligned himself with the sufferings, the hard times. So people listen to him. If right now he tell people to go out, they are going out. So now the government is saying, Adebayo is causing incitement, So that's the problem. And even now, the government too, they are planning to talk to the Dutch government to see how best they will repatriate him. But the guy is ready. He said he's ready to go to the ICC, the International Court of the Criminal Court, with the president, so that they will go and present their own evidence to know whether he's the one killing people in Sierra Leone or whether it's the government soldiers who are doing it. So it is a very difficult situation right now. It's very fragile,
All right, now Abu Shah, because I've been following this story, and when you go on social media, just like how the government was saying that it is the opposition that are actually behind these demonstrations. Um, there are people also who are also believing this narrative, and so I wanted to find out how divided is Sierra Leone, if there is any division at all.
It is seriously divided. this government for the past 4 years, when they came in, the president was asked, he said, why are you not trying to unite the country? He said it was the white men who divided the country. That was his answer. He said it on national television, President Bio. So people said, well, listen, if the white man has divided this country, why was the country united in the last government, where all the tribes, the 16 tribes, were all together without any problem, and they all serve in the government? But now, this man, President Bio, his own government, he has made it is now a one tribe government, the Mendes, where he came from, and Shabros. The Mendes are dominating this government. 98% of all the top government jobs, institutions, directors, they are all Mendes. The media in Sierra Leone, most of them are headed by the Mendes. The military, the first top 4 top officials, they are all Mendes. In the police, it's the same. The government institution is the same. It's so clear. And even the Electoral Commission, where he's trying to use to rig the next year's election, they are all Mendes. The first 5 people, they are all Mendes. So he has tribalized the country so much that there is no way the country will get a national cohesion. It is very clear. But when the opposition, the government, the supporters of the government, they are always saying, no, they are not tribalized. But it is very clear, like in black and white, So this country has reached a point where if the international community fail to intervene now, it will result to a very serious problem.
I mean, why the international community? We've got ECOWAS, we've got African Union. Surely
yes,
these institutions
of course,
ECOWAS,
last week they sent the ECOWAS chairman, Embalo, Sissoko Embalo, of the president of Guinea-Bissau. He's the ECOWAS chairman. He went there on a one-day visit. He spoke to the government and he spoke to the opposition, and they gathered their own information, and he warned President Bio that if he was, as opposition leader, he was protesting without any harassment and intimidation, why should his own government not allow people to protest? So now I think I've understood that the ECOWAS will be sending another delegation to investigate properly what is happening, and the African Union too, they are concerned about what is happening. The United Nations, they are concerned. The UK High Commission and the US Embassy, all the African embassies, they are very concerned about this, what is happening, because they know this is the road to another civil war. And people don't want the international community who are financing all these things in the institutions, electoral things. They are not happy at the way things are going. And now the government, they are urging the government to investigate, to make sure there is national cohesion. And even inside the country, there are so many institutions right now that are calling on the government to calm down, because they want to use this guy they are so embarrassed with a single voice who is undermining, who has more authority than the government. So now instead of talking to this guy, to talk to his own organization, the PPP, they are blaming the opposition. And this guy has always been criticizing the opposition also, because they are very slow in acting. But now they are linking them together just to justify that the main opposition is undermining their government, and it is not true.
And finally, Abu Shor, the other day we saw that the police and the military were deployed on the streets of Freetown to calm the situation. Also, give citizens the confidence that they should be able to return to normal, their day-to-day lives. But how is the situation right now in Sierra Leone? Are there going to be any more protests, or for now everything there's some sort of normalcy right now?
There is no normalcy in that country at the moment. So many of the businesses are scared to open. They open a few hours and they close down. There is no security. The government is giving a semblance of peace returning to the country. It is not true. While they are going in the night to attack innocent Sierra Leoneans. I'm telling you, over thousands of Sierra Leoneans right now, they are in detention without any access to lawyers and or their families. People are crying every day, and they are doing summary execution. The government is noted for that. They brought the rebel war, the RUF. They were behind all this fighting. So now they are using these tactics to give two phases. First phase to tell the international community that they are doing well to bring peace, while in the background they are killing people. And now they are more scary because this Adebayo guy has told them that he is going to call for another demonstration, and this time they are not going to know the date. It's going to happen any time from now. So now they have brought more panic to the government, and the business people are scared. Investors are not even coming. They are not even thinking about coming back. So it's a very chaotic situation, and it's very sad that a government has no power. That the people are not listening to this government anymore because there's too much suffering, man. It's for the past 5 years, too much suffering. It's not about COVID or this. The people has failed even before COVID came, but now they are using take advantage of any situation. Now it's Ukraine they are blaming. So it's a shame that the government has not lived up to expectation. They have brought back the country backward, backward.
All right,
from
I'm
where
sure.
they took over in 2018.
Thank you very much for joining us. Always a pleasure to talk to you. We'll keep an eye on the story in Sierra Leone.
Yeah, thank you
As
very
Abisha was
much. Thank
saying
you for
that
having me.
there's probably be another demonstration. We'll keep an eye on that. Sadly, protests turned violent and people ended up losing their lives. That's not what we want to hear. That's not what we want to see. Sierra Leone in particular, we want to see peace across the whole of Africa, let alone West Africa. We want to see peace. So hopefully they'll be able to find a resolution to this issue. But I did say this. I think probably off the back of Pakistan, where they stormed the palace. No, is it Pakistan or Sri Lanka? One of them. Anyway, I will double check. Anyway, but you get my drift, right? And then I just realized if you compare, the level of economic hardship globally, even to the point where people here are struggling, let alone across the continent of Africa, that there will be agitation. People will take to the street to demonstrate because of inflation. There's no, like I said, salaries are not going up, but products are going up. Products are going up, and if governments are unable to ease the burden of their citizens, then we'll be seeing a lot of demonstrations across many countries. All right, now let's look at the newspaper headlines here in England before we return to stories across the continent of Africa. The Financial Times leads on the forecast from analysts at investment bank CT forecasting UK inflation could exceed 18.6% in January, which will be the highest rate among Western nations. This month, the Bank of England predicted higher as gas prices would push inflation above 13%, but the sector's rapidly increasing costs has left economic projections out of date, the paper says. Now, I think it was the cabinet minister of the Conservative Party. I think it was Kwasi Kwarteng. They call him Kwasi Kwarteng. Ghana we say Kwasi Kwarteng, right? um, you know, whereas he was being asked about the high cost of living, what the government plans are, and he just said we have to wait till Liz Truss gets into office. So here we are. You and I are facing, we're feeling the pinch. Okay, everyone is feeling the pinch, and we now have a country where there's no leadership. Boris Johnson, I mean, you can't blame Boris Johnson anymore. He's just there as a caretaker. Okay, He's not able to make any decisions, any serious decisions. So we have to sit tight and wait for somebody gets elected, whether Rishi Sunak or Liz Truss gets elected. And it's a minister. Minister is telling us we have to wait till the 5th or the 8th of September. So there you go. The Times. The Times reports the 18% inflation forecast will put pressure on the Bank of England to increase interest rates in a bid to get the economy under control. The Daily Express. Billionaire Eccleston 91 denies 400 million tax fraud. Now listen, I don't like any conspiracy theory here. Okay, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm always bashing somebody that I claim to be a conspiracy theorist, but it just so happened all of a sudden Eccleston is being charged for tax evasion. Okay, and a few months ago he did an interview on Good Morning Britain. And this guy is a staunch supporter of Vladimir Putin. So anyway, the likes of many of us that look at these type of stories and you start shaking your head. Why all of this now? The Daily Telegraph. The Daily Telegraph leads on the Minister for Refugee, Lord Harrington, calling for monthly payments to families hosting Ukrainian refugees to double to £700. Okay. The Daily Mail. Rab, justice is being held to ransom. Minister's fury over barristers strike that will bring heartbreak to thousands of crime victims. Yes, barristers are looking to go on strike. So the paper focuses on the strike action by criminal barristers in England and Wales. Quoting, justice is being held to ransom by Justice Secretary Dominic Raab. After lawyers voted to go on indefinite strike, uninterrupted walkout from the 5th of September. Mr. Raab argues the walkout will cause untold anguish to victims of crime and will make streets less safe as offenders are allowed to roam free. Now, this is going to have, as the paper is suggesting, significant impact. And it's not just victims. Well, some people that have been wrongly accused will also fall victim to this. The Guardian, the Tory leadership contender Liz Truss, when she was Environment Secretary, was behind cutting £1 million of funding earmarked for tackling water pollution, according to The Guardian. It says Ms. Truss set out in 2015 spending review to reduce funding for the Environment Agency by £235 million, including a £24 million cut from a grant for surveillance and water companies to prevent dumping of raw sewage. The Eye, Truss to risk flying blind after budget pledge U-turn. Here we go again. Conservative leadership contender Liz Truss has backtracked over plans to hold an emergency budget to address the cost of living crisis if she becomes prime minister, the Eye reports. Instead, she will hold a watered-down fiscal event which avoids detailed scrutiny, says the paper. It adds Ms. Truss still plans to reverse the national insurance rise but will fly blind by not requesting official economic forecast. Okay, so they're trying to find ways to not to get scrutinized. Okay, the Daily Mirror. Ronaldo doesn't feel sorry at all. He left me crying and shaking. Okay, Manchester United's Cristiano Ronaldo featured on the front of the Mirror as it follows up on the footballer's police caution over footage appearing to show him knocking a phone out of a fan's hand. Sarah Kelly told the paper she was left in tears by an incident involving her autistic son and says she felt cheated of justice. Okay. The Metro, snowflakes blocking A&E. Snowflakes blocking A&E headlines the Metro as it reports on patients with trivial complaints heaping pressure on hospital emergency department in England, including one person who asked for help with their dandruff. I'm so sorry. Can you imagine? Somebody's got dandruff and decides to pick up the phone call and call A&E because they've got dandruff. Why don't you just wash your hair? Wash your hair properly and have a bath. That would help. The Daily Star. The Daily Star carries on a picture of a man sleeping at work as he leads on reports from National University of Singapore researchers, which claims allowing staff to take naps can boost welfare and profits. I mean, for that, if we can sleep at work and then feel rejuvenated and back to work, why not? All right, the time now is 8:52. It is Tuesday, 23rd of August, 2022. This is GN Radio, the morning breakfast show with myself, James Ewa. Now we're going to move across the continent of Africa and bring you, stories trending. Plus, Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the president of Ghana, has said that he has no preference when it comes to, people pushing to become the flag bearer of the NPP after his exit. And I'm saying that Nanado would definitely put his support behind Bawumia. On a more serious note, a Rwandan woman faces jail over shameful dressing. A 24-year-old Rwandan woman, Lilian Mugabekazi, who was arrested a couple of weeks ago after attending a concert wearing a see-through dress, has been charged to court for indecent dressing. Photo of Liliane, who was at a concert by a popular French musician, Tacy, a few days ago, had trended online. Businja Johnston, who is currently Rwanda's ambassador to Britain, had in a tweet on his verified handle condemned Liliane's mode of dressing, describing it as objectionable act. He wrote, and this is the Rwandan ambassador to the UK. He wrote, the current issue of our young men and women who drink and drug themselves unconscious appear in public literally naked is objectionable. Spokesman for the prosecution, Faustin Nkusi, had said the woman committed serious crime for appearing, and I quote, naked, unquote, in public, saying it was a shameful dress. According to Rwanda's newspaper, The Chronicles, the 24-year-old lady was charged to court on Thursday. Reports had it that Liliane's lawyer asked the court for the case to be heard on camera. Recall that in March 2022, police arrested a 20-year-old woman for public drunkenness and indecent assault after a video of her lying on the ground in an alcohol stupor circulated on social media. Okay, so back in March, there was a 20-year-old woman who was also found drunk and laying on the floor, which was trending on social media. Okay, but I prefer this particular one because there's another article here that actually goes much in details. Okay, and of course, this has sparked a debate about freedom of expression. Notwithstanding, we've also need to take into consideration the laws of the land. What does the Rwandan law says about indecent exposure or indecent dressing? The law determines offenses and penalties in Rwanda. Article 143 stipulates that any person who performs an indecent act in public commits an offense. Upon conviction, he or she is liable to imprisonment for a term of not less than 6 months and not more than 2 years. Okay, so I guess it's at their discretion what is classified or deemed as indecent exposure, or what is the determining factor for somebody being arrested. Okay, Rwandan authorities have arrested and taken to court a young woman over indecent dressing after a photo of her in a fishnet attire at a music concert appeared on social media. If convicted, the 24-year-old faces 6 months to 2 years in prison. So I'd like to hear your take on this particular story. Where do you stand on this? Is this a draconian law? Is this oppressing freedom of expression? Is this again highlighting the human rights um, stifling in Rwanda, because Rwanda has been accused of having a poor human rights record? Let me know. I'd like to hear your take on this. And numbers you need are 0203 735 8820 or 0778 Alternatively, you can also text on that line, or you can share your comments on our Facebook page and I will read them out. Few text messages are coming in, so keep your text messages coming. All right. Don't forget, we have other stories that we'll bring to your attention. We'll bring you a quick roundup of stories across the continent of Africa, including environmental organizations, including Greenpeace Africa, warned on Monday that they are facing threats because of their opposition to the auction of oil blocks in Democratic Republic of Congo, 3 weeks after the government launched a call for tender for 30 oil gas blocks in DRC. So, um, environment, um, environmentalists are against the government selling these oil blocks. I mean, a lot of the countries in Africa, they don't really care about climate change. They act like they do because the superpowers, the West, are projecting this move against climate change. I mean, I don't really know much. I don't have any. I don't have any expert knowledge on climate change. I haven't done much research into that. I'm just like you. Unless you, on the other hand, have studied it, I would like to know your take on this. How real is this climate change? But we're going to take a break, okay? Have a break, have a chill, relax, make yourself a cup of coffee, cup of tea, or if you're eating the solid food this morning, quickly warm up your food and get ready. Because once we come back, we'll be looking at stories trending across the continent of Africa. And trust me, you don't want to miss this. And I'll read a few of the messages that have been coming in. This is GN Radio Morning Breakfast Show with myself, Jones Awua. Just to remind you that we are on social media. So across all socials, you can follow us. Make sure you do. And our handle is at GN Radio UK. We'll be back right after these short commercials. Yeah, okay. So if you're watching my live, taking a quick break.
Democracy approaching mu ha. Ya swedi. Yenya emranimfo a wen akwadare wo emranimu a poto kasa mu ye kasa a lawyer for entimi nuanom mumyemfa ye immigration ensem nyina enko dan wo Fort Well solicitors emranimu akukudro for se watena ha che ombeboa wo ma wonsa ka won krata na se wedi edro nso a eyom kokokra eba ne nipa setena mu ani adwuma mu nsem bia omudi mu akotene pa omo wo mre di mani pa bia na de enika wo mu poni se no consultation fee.
Fort Well solicitors always puts our clients' needs first. We specialize in all UK visa applications, detention and deportation cases, student and work points-based work permit applications from both UK and abroad. Fort Well solicitors also deals with long residence and human rights applications outside the immigration rules. Don't wait till last minute. Fort Well solicitors is located at
Unit 1, ground floor, Katrina House, 50A Clarendon Road, London, N80DJ. Nearest tube station, Tempark Lane and Wood Green. Overground, Hornsey Station. Buses, 41 to Archway and 144 to Maswa Hill. For more info, call 0203 3257 030. Call our 24-hour line on 0754 8701 011. Website www.fortwellsolicitors.com.
opening hours Monday to Friday 9:30 to 5:30 p.m.
Thursday Beyonce Young Milton Keynes.
Fort Well solicitors is regulated by SRA.
Fort Well Solicitors.
The world as we know it has changed, and so have the issues affecting our community.
COVID-19 and the geopolitical tensions have really made it abundantly clear that the African continent has to do more to be self-sufficient from an industrial capacity point of view.
Join me, John Sewa, on GN Breakfast Show as we look at issues affecting us here in the UK, with a close eye on trending stories across the world.
When we invest from the UK into infrastructure in African countries, that it is absolutely transparent.
With a focus on Ghana's social and political issues.
I mean, it's not about you thinking about, your money, the Sikadiabasa is not what our authorities should be thinking about, or officials, but rather they should think about the nation.
The Breakfast Show with John Sewa.
Monday to Wednesday from 8 a.m. on GN Radio. Welcome back to this program. It is GN Radio. Morning Breakfast Show with myself, John Sewa. Hope you're well and safe. The time now is 5 minutes past 9. We're here till 10 a.m. And then from 10 to 11, we'll bring you the legal hour with Fort Well solicitors. It is Tuesday, 23rd of August, 2022. Now then, quickly, if you just tune in, all right? If you're like me, as I said earlier, if you're like me and you watch TV, even I don't watch TV that much, but when I do have moments at home, I turn on the TV to see what's happening, right? If you look across the Sky platform, there isn't that many Afro-Caribbean channels anymore, okay? Don't fret. There is a channel, actually, okay, that caters to our taste, our type of content, right? And it's channel 7. And channel 7 has there are many ways to actually watch channel 7, right? It's not just on Sky. It is on Sky 182. You can also watch it on the channel 7 app. Just download the channel 7 app. You'll be able to watch the live stream, okay? It was being broadcast on Sky. It's the same thing that you could watch, excuse me, on the platform. Also on Vision TV app. You can alternatively download the Vision TV app. And on Freeview, if you have Freeview at home, it is channel 264 and also One Hub TV. To follow channel 7 across social media, all you need is the handle is at my channel 7 TV. That's the social media handle. So make sure you download the app or watch it on Sky. We've got you covered. Fantastic content on there. So make sure you download it and stay tuned. Know what's happening across, the Afro-Caribbean communities. Okay, it's there for you. It's there for us. So get involved. Right then, as I did mention, I welcome you actually to get involved with our discussion today. Now, let me just bring you this story about Kenya. On 9th of August, Kenyans went to the polls to vote. Now, it took, I think, about 6 days before the votes were counted. Now, just before the votes were announced, the election was declared as to who become the president. The chairperson, okay, the deputy chairperson from the electoral body, the independent electoral body of Kenya, came out and said that the way in which the process were conducted were too opaque and as such would not support the figures that are about to be declared. So imagine a whole electoral body, right? A split. Even though the elections were declared, where William Ruto has been pronounced as the newly elected president, the opposition leader Raila Odinga came out and called the whole election process as a parody. Now we have it that Raila Odinga, who came second in Kenya's presidential election, has gone to court to challenge the results, describing it as fraudulent. In a scathing 70-page legal argument, he alleges there was a pre-planned effort to alter the outcome. According to Electoral Commission, Mr. Odinga took 48.8% of the vote, losing to William Ruto's 50.5%. An independent monitoring organization said the commission's final result was in line with his own projection. However, 4 of the 7 electoral commissioners refused to endorse the outcome, alleging that the way the final results were tallied was, and I quote, opaque. The 7 judges at the Supreme Court will have 14 days to make a ruling. Crowds of Mr. Odinga supporters sang and chanted outside the court in a suburb of the capital, Nairobi, as the presidential candidate arrived to deliver the documents along with dozens of boxes of evidence. Now, if you've been following this program, we usually speak to Julius. And good morning to you, Julius, because I know that you're probably listening this morning. And after the show, I'll be going on Julius's show to talk about the Kenyan election, right? And you see the sense of humor in Kenyans when it comes to the election. And yesterday, I saw it was making rounds on social media where there were big trucks full of documents from Raila Odinga, who is seeking the Supreme Court's decision on the just ended election. And it was actually hilarious because there was just trucks full of evidence to for the Supreme Court to go through. So we'll keep an eye on that. According to reports, the Supreme Court will take 14 days to make a judgment. So we see what transpires. Elsewhere, people in the streets of the township of Vienna, one of the areas in around Rwanda, says that there's no need to vote come Wednesday, August 24th, as they see no change and continue to have no jobs. The landmark election with more than 40 million registered voters has been described as existential moment for the key oil-rich Central Africa. So this is Angola. Angolans will be voting on the 24th of August, which is tomorrow. We'll bring you up to date on that. But for now, let's listen quickly to this report. Ready? Okay. Whilst we try to bring you these reports, let me remind you, yes, keep your messages coming in. I will read them, okay? I will read your messages.
Angolans are set to go to the polls on Wednesday, August 24, for legislative elections that will decide the next president. But in this vast country of 33 million people, much of the population is turning away from politics. Most people in Angola do not work, and this has destroyed the reputation of this government. There is no political intention to develop this nation. We are not satisfied or happy with the government's actions. We expect them to do more. With an oil-dependent economy in recession, current President João Lourenço has launched ambitious reforms to diversify revenue sources and privatize public enterprises, but little has changed for the majority of Angolans. We don't have any family that can help us. Even after university, we end up selling things on the informal market while paying school fees. After school, our children have nowhere to go. They stay at home. I have no one to vote for, because even if I do, no one will help my son in life. 8 political parties are in the running, including the two main ones, the MPLA, the party in power since independence in 1975, and the largest opposition party, UNITA.
Well, that's what happens. When people are feeling the pinch, there's an apathy. Nobody wants to know. Nobody wants to know. Because so many times it's been done to the people. You spend your time to go and vote, and nothing changes. Politicians will say whatever it is they need to say to get into power. Once they get into that position, then everything is forgotten about. And Angolans are not different. They're no different. Okay, now let's look at other stories in Ghana. The Office of the Special Prosecutor probing vehicle auction sales by customs since 2016. Now, this looks like, I think this is a personal issue, okay? I think this is a personal issue between the Special Prosecutor and then the head of customs in Ghana. This is a personal issue. The reason why I sound speechless, okay, is because we've seen what's happening. To do with the La Bianca story, and then the head of the Ghana Revenue Authority coming out to refer to the special prosecutor as a small boy, and they know each other. So whatever it is that's going on behind closed doors needs to be addressed, because this just can't keep happening. And if they do find any wrongdoing, then whoever's involved, it needs to be prosecuted. I'm sorry, they need to be prosecuted. Can't just keep paying lip service all the time without any action. Then what's the point? What is the point? So the special prosecutor wastes taxpayers' resources to do its investigation, and then what? And then that's it. Okay, we found out that you were corrupt, or you did this, or you did that, or this was done. Okay, pay back the money, and then that's it. Case closed. It can't be same story all the time. It cannot be. It cannot be. I am interested though to see what will happen, because we've seen so many times when when people ship their stuff, when it gets to the harbor, they're unable to clear it simply because of the ridiculous amount of money that is being requested for them to clear their products. I remember a few years ago, one woman, I think she left the US to go to Ghana to set up a school, or if I'm not mistaken, it was a man that sent, shipped his car to Ghana, and he could not clear it. He couldn't. And in the end, it's almost as if he was losing his vehicle. The Office of the Special Prosecutor has commenced investigation into suspected corruption and corruption-related offenses in respect of auction sales of vehicles and other goods by the Customs Division of Ghana Revenue Authority between July the 1st, 2016 15th of August 2022. A statement dated 22nd of August 2022 and issued by the Special Prosecutor Kisi Ejabing said on the 19th of August 2022, the Commissioner of the Customs Division was directed to produce some pertinent documents to aid the probe on or before September 30th, 2022. The office wants the particulars and clear description of all auctioned items, the quantity of all auction items, the prices at which the items were auctioned, the date of each auction sale, and the full names, addresses, and telephone numbers of the successful bidders at all the auction sales. Meanwhile, the Special Prosecutor has further directed Commissioner of the Customs Division to immediately halt and discontinue all auction sales till the investigation is concluded. Oh dear. Following the probe that cited La Bianca Company Limited for corruption-related acts, the Special Prosecutor has also commenced to a wider investigation into the issuance of customs advance rulings and markdowns of benchmarks value between July 2017 and December 2021. Well, that's it. This is not going anywhere anytime soon. And whatever it is, the truth will come out. And if the truth does come out, then whoever is found to be corrupt needs to be sent to jail. Case closed. Elsewhere, Education Ministry demands refund over Gallup project, but company requests full payment. This is interesting. And this is still in Ghana, by the way. The Ministry of Education has requested Messrs. Tanit Limited, an IT company, to refund all payments made to it for failing to meet the terms of a contract signed between two parties on this 26th of July 2021. A letter dated 22nd of June 2022, cited by the Daily Telegraph, or should I say the Daily Graphic. The ministry said the company did not perform its obligation under the contract agreement, which was supposed to be completed within 5 months. However, in a letter, the executive director of Messrs. Tanit Limited, Kwame Eduasari, described the request for refund as an act of bad faith and breach of the procedures stipulated in the contract. Okay, let's bring you other stories as well. And in Nigeria, a group of armed men abducted 4 Catholic nuns in Imo State in southeastern Nigeria, where kidnappings for ransom are rife, police said on Monday. Imo police spokesman Michael Abatam said nuns were abducted on Sunday near the town of Ikegwe on their way to Mass. And I quote the spokesman, "We are on the trail of the kidnappers in order to free the victims," he added. No group has so far claimed responsibility for the kidnapping. Kidnappings are common in Africa, most populous country, which has been hit by severe economic crisis and plagued by widespread crime. This is Nigeria. The report is saying, while some hostages are killed, most are released after a ransom is paid. When we talk about the security issues in Nigeria, it is sad. It's sad in the sense that, who remember the Chibok girls? Since then everything has just taken a massive nosedive, and however you look at it, you cannot separate it from politics. I remember, and if you've been following me for some time, I've shared this story where I think this was the time where Boko Haram again abducted these young girls to the point where the police and the military were blaming each other. Police were saying that the military knew that they left the military in position. The military were also blaming the police. So it is frustrating. It is frustrating to see human beings just being abducted left, right, center, and the government's unable to deal with these security issues in Nigeria. It is sad. It is really, really sad. Okay, let's bring you other stories as well. Now, the world-renowned author Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie was trending yesterday in Nigeria after making a speech at the annual General Conference of the Nigerian Bar Association, where she said that Nigerians were starved of heroes and that young people did not find people to look up to anymore. She also touched on Nigeria's ongoing security challenges, such as kidnapping for ransom crisis. And I quote, she said, Nigeria is in disarray. Things are hard and getting harder by the day. We can't be safe when there is no rule of law, she said. And a lot of people have supported her speech. Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie is a fearless and ruthless lady. She says what she wants to say without any iota of fear. One person tweeted on Twitter. Oh, gosh. Leadership, 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 leadership. Leadership in Africa is interesting. And I think there was a time, okay, where we did a show. Just before I move on to the leadership issue, this is what I was alluding to earlier. A truck carrying evidence for Azimio presidential petition arrives at Malimani Court. There's a big truck full of evidence. Now, the UK denies meddling in Kenyan presidential elections. The UK High Commissioner Jane Marriott has dismissed claims that she had her country interfered in Kenya's recently concluded general election. Ms. Marriott was rejecting to allegations on social media that she pressured the Electoral Commission to declare William Ruto as president-elect following the disputed poll. Some users shared unverified photos of her shaking hands with Mr. Ruto and electoral body chairperson Wafula Chebukati. In a series of tweets, Ms. Marriott said the UK does not support nor have a view on any candidates or parties in elections, terming the claims misinformation. So, according to the UK High Commissioner to the UK, to Kenya, the claims that she supported William Ruto or had the UK interfered or influenced the decision in the declaration of the election is fake news. Now, back on the issue of leadership, okay, just of the back of the story I just read, okay, from Chimamanda, how Nigerians like heroes, people to look up to, and the issue of leadership. I remember I did a show with a few of my friends in the media, journalists, well-respected individuals, and my question was, and I hate making this comparison, okay. My question was, if you look at, because we're all in the diaspora, we're all in the UK, so we use the UK as a benchmark. And I think, with the exception of John Major, who went to a state school, majority of the leaders went to, your Cambridge, your Oxfords, and so well-established institutions. Even though one might argue about Boris Johnson. Boris Johnson went to Eton, if I'm not mistaken. So these are well-established universities or institutions that keep churning out leaders, okay, who end up becoming prime ministers or ministers or MPs, you name it. And I'm not saying that all MPs went to these, privileged institutions, right? I'm not saying that at all. But then when you look at leaders across the continent of Africa, many of them just came out from the bush. When I say the bush, I'm not, casting any aspersions on some leaders. It is a known fact. So, someone like Museveni these many of them were freedom fighters. Okay, Museveni himself will tell you, "Do you want me to go back to the bush?" So he would tell you. But on a more serious note, right? The question of leadership, and a lot of leaders will come up with fake documents to state the accreditation, to project something contrary to what they've actually done. And then we realize that when we get to positions where decisions will have a massive impact on future generations, it's overlooked. And I'm not for once saying that education is the key to everything, but we cannot deny the fact that it is pertinent, it is very, very important. And even, this is where a lot of people spoke ill of the former president of Ghana, Rawlings, because Rawlings came in, by the gun, the military. And many of his critics said that, academically, or not just academically, but his thinking on how to run a nation was limited. His thinking on how to run an economy was limited. And we need leaders that are able, when it comes to making deals and signing our lives away, are able to make decisions that will not benefit us just on not now, but for future generations. And we like that. And I think this is why the likes of Nkrumah keeps coming out, because Nkrumah was an astute politician, and academically he did really well. He was an astute politician. He understood politics. He understood how things work, how the international system worked. He understood what it took to develop a nation. He understood it. Now, I'm not saying Nkrumah did not have his flaws. Of course he did. But I think, I don't understand, since Ghana gained independence, over 60 years, and still struggling. Still struggling. So there's a homework for you and for myself. We can do our homework to see the backgrounds, to actually scrutinize or do our research on the backgrounds of many of the African leaders. And I can guarantee you, we'll probably arrive at the same conclusion. There will be no surprise. There will be no surprises. All right, now let's come back to this story of the young 24-year-old girl who could potentially be facing anywhere from 6 months to 2 years prison sentence in Rwanda. Here's my take on this, all right? I'll read your messages. Keep sending your messages in. Here's my take on this. Now, I think let me start by describing, I'll do my best to describe her outfit, okay? The outfit that she is wearing. So, it's a see-through dress. So, everything else is on show. But she's got her underwear on. And then she's got a jacket. What appears to be a blazer, and then she's got her bag across her shoulder, and she's got her friend standing behind her. Now, this is what has got her into trouble. Mind you, I've seen worse in this country, but we're not talking about this country. We're not talking about the Western world. I've seen worse here, okay? Do I think that 6 months to 2 years or even the arrest is over the top? Absolutely. I think it's over the top. Do I also think that, ignorance of the law is not an excuse? Absolutely. And laws are made not to be broken, but to be adhered to. But then again, where is her right as a woman to wear what she feels comfortable in to go to a concert. Now, if this was, a church or a conference or a business event or something corporate, I think everyone would agree that this is not suitable for the occasion. However, in concerts, I mean, you have girls who come on stage to perform and they're wearing next to nothing. Okay? They will go on stage to perform doing all sorts. Women will go on stage to twerk, men will go on stage and, the Jamaican dance, daggering, more or less, it's the act without the act, if you get my drift. It's too early to be going too much into details. And that is not being frowned upon. And I don't think in no way, in any way, will this provoke anyone to cause any harm. So, in a nutshell, what am I trying to get at here? My thing is, freedom of expression needs to be respected, right? It's your right. And then, obviously, then the question is, to what limit? How far does it go? And then my answer to that question is, provided it's not inciting anybody to kill anybody, provided it's not causing any harm, okay, any physical harm to anybody, then I don't see anything wrong with it. It will spark a debate for sure. And as such, for this woman to be prosecuted, I think it's too much. And that's the thing I keep saying with Africa, with Africans, I should say. We go from one extreme to the other. There's no in between, just from one extreme to the other. And a lot of African countries are very conservative. However, this is the 21st century. And I'm not saying 21st century, so we should just walk around naked. No, that's not what I'm saying. But this is 21st century. We need to realize we are in a different era. We're in a different time. Women also have the ability to think and act for themselves. Women are also in high positions, and I don't think that this warranted had to be arrested. It doesn't. And then when you hear the ambassador to the UK's comment, which just is purely misogynistic, I should say, to say that the way that people are dressing. I mean, she's going to a concert, for crying out loud. It's a concert, not a church service. It's a concert. Let's read a few of your messages that have come in. This is from Adra saying, Jones, good morning to you. Just like yourself, I believe that Ronaldo would definitely support Palomir. But when the time comes, we shall all see. On the issue of the Rwandan girl, women have been subjugated for so many years, even to the point where a woman wants to wear what she feels comfortable in, she's being arrested. Who made those laws? I don't know, but I can assure you those laws were put in place by men. I'll leave my comments here. Okay. Thank you, Adra. I'll read some more, but just to echo what Adra is saying, and again, it just comes back to this whole gender debate of how, especially feminists will say that what is the point? This is again men trying to subjugate women, to oppress women. If that's how she feels and expressing herself, then she should be allowed to. And there's a quote in one of the articles that I want to bring to your attention. So this is from Jessie Mugisha. What is her role? Okay, so Jessie Mugisha on this particular subject said that This is an attempt to kill a big part of the entertainment and night economy. She is a video vixen and she was at a concert at night. In the age of Instagram, music videos, which are shown on public TV, indecency can't be defined this narrowly. It is sad how people are fighting to dress naked in public in the name of human rights, said Sabizi via Twitter. So, like I said, the debate has started. Human rights. People saying, how can you base how can you argue that dressing indecently is for your human rights? And obviously the counter argument is this infringes on her human rights. Where do you stand on it? Does it infringe her human rights, or her human rights has no basis, or does not validate anyone or an individual to go out to dress indecently? Let me know. This is from John. Good morning, John. John is saying, good morning, Jones. I think this is too harsh on the woman. I've seen the picture. She dressed appropriately for the event she attended. For crying out loud, she went to a concert. What do they want? For her to come out dressed like a nun? Okay. Now, I'm very conscious when we have this type of discussion, because one might argue that we've been westernized. Okay, this is the Western perception. Especially the radical feminists who argue that it's not up to them to dress a way in which a man deemed appropriate. If a woman wants to wear a short skirt or a mini skirt, it's not her inviting, somebody to come and grope them or rape them or whatnot. Okay. And this has been the debate. And again, people are saying it infringes on her human rights, her rights as a woman to wear what she wants to wear. And I mean, I take the suggestion on the fact that she's a video vixen. She went to a concert, and I made mention of that. In this current climate of social media, these things, this is the norm. It is the norm. Let's face it, it's the norm. But for her to potentially be facing 6 months to 2 years jail sentence, I think is bonkers. That is my stance. Unless you think otherwise, let me know. All right. This is from Michael. Michael was saying, Jones, as a man, I don't think I would like to see my sister, my woman, or any female I know dressed in such manner. It is despicable. And this is what a lot of our young girls in particular have been practicing, have been copying from the West. You mentioned Instagram. Go on Instagram and the amount of filth that you see on Instagram. If you want to dress like this for your partner, not in public. Not all of us see this as sexy or see this as something that will attract us. Mind you, you could potentially also be attracting criminals. I rest my case. Okay. Very strong views. Very strong views. Very strong views. Whilst I take your comments and I say that it is a fair comment, however, I don't think it's up to you it's up to you or to me to determine what is right for a woman to wear. I mean, no woman will come and tell you what to wear, Michael. No woman would do that. Unless, of course, it's your partner. All right. This is from James. James is saying, Jones, let's stop being liberal. What she wore was wrong, and as such, she should face the consequences. She should be put to jail and be used as an example so that these young girls would learn from such ridiculous dress sense. Okay, so I don't know. I wonder how old my listeners are. I wonder. I really, really do wonder how old they are. No, I respect I respect your position on this. I respect your position on this, and I take your comment because we need to hear both sides. Again, um, who determines that it's inappropriate? Who determines? I mean, she's not naked. It can be argued that she's semi-naked. I mean, semi-naked. How do you? What is semi-naked? What she's wearing is see-through, but she's got her underwear on. The top is see-through, so you can see. You can see through the dress. But again, she's not. She's going to a concert, not to church, not to mosque, not to a business event. She's going to a concert. I mean, rarely would you see anybody suited and booted at a concert. I don't know. I'm yet to see anyone, yet to find anybody who was suited and booted at a concert. And I think this law in particular, I'm sorry to say, but it targets, the people that would target the most would be women. And I think, again, Rwanda trying to crack down on, quote unquote, this new age of technology. If you go on Twitter right now or TikTok and watch the videos, especially coming from Africa, you can see why such laws have been put in place. You can see it. This is from Liz. Liz is saying, Jones, tell the truth. You enjoyed that picture, didn't you? That's, no, it's not. It is not. It's not. It's got nothing to do with whether I enjoyed the picture or did not enjoy the picture. I'm here to do my job and do it professionally, and I hope it's coming across like that, Liz. Liz then goes on to say, with the NPP issue, Baumia all the way. I don't think Alain Tremontin is capable of winning NPP next elections. If they really want to break the eight, they need to stick with Baumia. Alain Tremontin has done well. He served the nation well, served the party well. It's time for new faces, and let Baumia carry on. And then lastly, on the Kenyan issue, well done to Kenya, and I'll keep applauding them. Rather to opt for violence, the best way to settle election disputes are always the Supreme Court. So well done to Kenyans. Okay. Thank you for sending your messages in, Liz. Agnes is saying, good morning, Jones. I didn't actually think about it until you mentioned it. The NPP consists of Dankwa, Buzia, and Dongo. And it makes absolutely sense for Bawumia to also, or somebody from the northern part of Ghana, to also become the leader and flag bearer of the NPP and potentially become the president of the country. We cannot keep doing this. I'm an Ashanti and I love my Ashanti people, but this is politics and we have to be fair. Just like they did to Aliu Muhammad, the former vice president to Akufo, he was supposed to be in line to become the next leader. Then all of a sudden, he was ousted and Manado was given the go ahead. NPP have to stop this. Okay, now I know the story that you're talking about here. I know. But then, you know what, NPP will always say that what they do say, I should say rather, as opposed to always say, what they do say is that, they are a diplomatic party, a democratic party, I beg your pardon, a democratic party where anybody vying to become the flag bearer, is open. Everybody can throw their hat in the ring, and then, whoever comes on top would then lead the party into elections. I understand that. So, it's not a given that Baumia will be elected or be chosen as the next flag bearer to take NPP to the 2024 elections. Well, do you understand? And this has been some of NPP's critics' assertion on how, looks as if Northerners are always overlooked. But, they'll come back and say we have a democratic process. And this has nothing to do with tribalism. All right. Ernest is saying, Jones, I can't stop laughing. Somebody asked you that, tell the truth, you like the picture. I myself, I like the picture. Yes, I'm a guy, I like the picture. Nevertheless, I don't think this needs to be taken to court. I don't think she needs to be dragged through the mud. Caution will suffice. And then give a community service. Well, that's another way of looking at it. And I think, if my mind serves me right, a few months ago, was it last year or a couple of years ago? This girl in Ghana, Ekapin Polo, I think she took a picture of her, a nude picture of herself and her son, and she was done for the same thing, indecent exposure. And I think she served her time, whether it be in a few months or weeks in prison, she did serve her time there. So, I mean, the laws are there, as I keep saying, and ignorance is not an excuse to break in the law. James has come back saying, Jones, I forgot to mention, the special prosecutor indeed has a vendetta against the Ghana Revenue Authority, the head of customs. I think there is something behind the scenes that we don't know. Nevertheless, remember the time of President Mills when he went to the harbor and things which were found by a nurse. Remember what was going on. So if the special prosecutor has decided to also investigate some alleged claims, then kudos to him. We're all sitting tight and waiting for his findings. Now, I'll go a step further, James. I mean, look, how many times are we just going to sit here and wait for the special prosecutor to go and do his investigation and come back and say, yes, this is what we found, bring back the money? At some point, somebody's got to face jail term, no? Okay. Keep your thoughts and comments coming in. This is GN Radio Money Breakfast Show with myself, Jones. We're live on Facebook. We're taking a quick break, and when we come back, we'll continue with our discussion. Don't go nowhere. We'll be back right after this.
Yo, Ghana for your English approach my moha. Ya sweady. Yenya emranimfo a wen akwadare wo emranimu a poto kasemu ye kase a lawyer for entimi nuanom mumyemfa ye immigration ensem nyina enko dan wo mo fortwell solicitors emranimu akukudro for se watna ha che ombeboa wo ma wonsa kan wo krata na se wedi edro nso a eyo mo kokokra eba ne nipa sitinamu ani adwuma mu nsem bia omudimu akotene pa omo wo mre di mani pa bia na de enika wo mu mpo ne se no consultation fee.
Fortwell Solicitors always puts our clients' needs first. We specialize in all UK visa applications, detention and deportation cases, student and work points-based work permit applications from both UK and abroad. Fortwell Solicitors also deals with long residence and human rights applications outside the immigration rules. Don't wait till last minute. Fortwell Solicitors is located at
Unit 1, ground floor, Katrina House, 58 Clarendon Road, London, N80DJ. Nearest tube station, Tempark Lane and Wood Green. Overground, Hornsey Station. Buses, 41 to Archway and 144 to Maswa Hill. For more info, call 0203 3257 030. Call our 24-hour line on 0754 8701 011. Website www.fortwellsolicitors.com.
opening hours Monday to Friday 9:30 to 5:30 p.m.
Thursday Beyonce Young Milton Keynes.
Fortwell Solicitors is regulated by SRA.
Fortwell Solicitors.
Become a successful entrepreneur with Jackie and her professional team. Become a successful entrepreneur. Anase Base. Wami a team of professional teachers of economics, marketing. Ninga omoyebi. So pesa will transform your life from a youth graduate and a school leaver. Nasa pesa wo ye entrepreneur. Mon contacti Base. Entrepreneur no chere say obia ebia wa wo business. Ebia wo ye che. But wo pesa wo ye no in a professional way. To say Oprah Winfrey. Anaya papa. Kwame Despite. Base bet me ama sa Diano Abim. One your experts coaching and a mentoring. And as all person will start to wow business base for bet show how will be expand your business and as existing customer base. Base provides support in business plans, step-by-step finance applications, and marketing strategies. Base or become a successful entrepreneur also provide entrepreneurship skills through vision and determination. Some more per free consultation for a base
073 99 417. I repeat 073 99 417.
And also one email address info@becomeasuccess.co.uk. Website www.becomeasuccess.co.uk. Mokohwa mobetimi make bookings for an appointment. Base and I said become a successful entrepreneur. Let's turn your vision into a reality.
The world as we know it has changed, and so have the issues affecting our community.
COVID-19 and the geopolitical tensions have really made it abundantly clear that the African continent has to do more to be self-sufficient from an industrial capacity point of view.
Join me, John Sewa, on GN Breakfast Show as we look at issues affecting us here in the UK, with a close eye on trending stories across the world.
When we invest from the UK into infrastructure in African countries, that it is absolutely transparent.
With a focus on Ghana's social and political issues.
I mean, it's not about you thinking about, your money, the Sikadiba side. It's not what our authorities should be thinking about, or officials, but rather they should think about the nation.
The Breakfast Show with John Sewa.
Monday to Wednesday from 8 a.m. on GN Radio. Welcome back to the show. Now, time is fast spent, so I'll just read a couple of your messages and then I will bring the show to an end. I know all the time I struggle to go through your messages, all the messages that are sent. I'm sure you would forgive me for that. Also, just a quick one from Janet. Janet is saying, good morning, Jones. In terms of who Ronaldo should support, we all know he will support Bawumia. Just as you mentioned, he's faced off with Alain Tremontin a few times. So I think he'll definitely go for Bawumia. On the case of the young Rwandan girl, I mean, this is common across Africa. Women have always been subjugated. To the point where even now in the 21st century, a woman cannot even dress to go to a concert. This is a concert, for crying sake. This is a concert. People need to realize that it was a night event. She's a vixen. And these are the type of clothes that they wear. So I think the punishment is too hard. And the last one, I will give it to Kwame. Kwame is saying, Jones, unfortunately, this is the world we're living in these days. These young girls need to learn a lesson. Hopefully, once she faces the jail term, she will think about the way she dresses in public. Okay, so there you go. There you have it. I think well-balanced views from people. We're done for another day. Up next is Fort World Solicitors. All being well, I'll see you again tomorrow. Tomorrow, hopefully, we have a guest coming in, somebody who was nominated for the Princess Diana Awards. We'll get him to come in to share his experiences and talk more, because young Africans are doing great in this country. And we have to appreciate them. And finally, before I sign off, just as I've been talking about, if you look across the Sky platform, there isn't that many Afro-Caribbean channels on there. Well, you don't need to look further, all right? Because Channel 7 is here with fantastic content catered to, our taste. Channel 7 is on Sky, Channel 182. You can also download the app, Channel 7 app, or Vision TV app to watch Channel 7, okay? If you have Freeview, you can watch Channel 7 on Freeview. It's on Channel 264. You can also follow Channel 7 across all social medias at My Channel 7 TV. My name is John Sewa. I'm done for another day. Thank you very much for staying tuned, for sending in your comments. All being well, I'll see you tomorrow, whatever it is that you're doing. Make sure you look after yourself and stay safe. All being well, I will see you tomorrow. So look after yourself, and we'll see you. Goodbye.
You wrote me off, but God called me in. I may be down, so you say I'm a man. Meaning, I'm a maternity. Or come, we miss Rodonka.